Hey everybody, Marty Mazora. I want to spend a few minutes here with you on green jobs. I'll try to make it quick. You read my article, which was really just me highlighting an article in the Washington Post on this whole green energy initiative. Great article. Please read it. It's very enlightening. You remember back a few months ago at the State of the Union address that the president said, let's double down on green energy and create all kinds of new jobs. Okay? Wouldn't you think that if we're going to make a shift to green energy, that it might come at the expense of traditional energy in terms of jobs for sure? So doesn't it make sense that if we're going to make, again, this shift, that while we create jobs over here, doesn't it make sense that we lose jobs ultimately over here? Now, hopefully, if somebody over here wants to and get the education, they can move into a new slot over there. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair when we're talking specifically about jobs in this industry that going green energy really creates any net new jobs. In fact, I'll go you one further. If it's truly as efficient as they say it is, well, efficiency to me means, output for less inputs, and in this case, labor. So you would think it makes sense, all things being equal, that if green energy is more efficient than traditional energy, then that means it would require less people to be employed there, so to speak. And so at first blush, we're not talking about a job creating project. We're talking about a job killing project. But let me be fair, because as you've read here, if you've been reading me for a while, I'm a real advocate of job-destroying technology, and I say that just to make the point. When I say job-destroying, I mean job-destroying in a particular industry that employs the new technology. Technology is indeed job-creating in so many ways, because think about when we gain the efficiencies of the productivity and the increased profits, that essentially, you might as well say, is a gain in increased creativity or increased resources or increased investment with which to go out and invent the newest, better technology. For ages we've been doing this, and as a result we've grown quite robustly over the years. New industries have been born, new jobs have been created, better jobs than the old, and for the most part in the U.S. up until recently it's been a pretty nice employment picture. Of course, we've had our moments, we've had recessions, etc., and the whole cyclical business cycle, if you will. But on balance, this has been a great place to live and to work. But something happens when we're talking about efficiencies in an industry that is so heavily subsidized by Uncle Sam, as the author of the article pointed out. And you've heard, the examples, the names of the solar companies that couldn't make it. The industry doesn't survive yet without heavy government subsidy. And as I've illustrated for you before, government subsidy means you and I pay for these friends of government. The subsidy is just a taking of our tax money and passing it on to some favored group or industry. The author also pointed out something else very interesting, and that is that this stuff isn't cheap, that only people of means can afford to put the panels on their roofs, and in places like California, the utilities have to buy back the surplus energy and pay to keep them on the grid, and of course that gets passed on. So not only do we have taxes, but we also have higher energy costs to contend with. So again, maybe this wonderful thing is indeed happening for this select group, but guess what's not happening for you and me, or guess I should say who's paying for it? We are indeed. So folks, and again, this of course speaks to my other illustrations. When you look at this happening, of course, that's money that's now not going to other places and is costing jobs in other areas and so forth, all because of government picking its winners and losers. Now, going green is a wonderful thing. I love the outdoors. I love a clean environment, and I want more and more of that as I get older and for my kids and grandkids. But history actually tells a different story in terms of how we come by that, or how we come about a cleaner environment, and that is really through free market capitalism. If you want to promote the environment, promote capitalism, promote entrepreneurs, their ability to pursue their own objectives. That's how we end up with paper-thin, devices that I can draw these pictures on that when I'm done with it, after recycling it, it'll take up maybe an inch of a landfill. When we're talking about your smartphone that does myriad duties that it would have taken a room full of equipment to do, not that long ago. These were inventions created not to clean up the environment, but they were created to make your life better, and really, quite frankly, they were created out of the self-interest of an entrepreneur who wanted to make his own life better. But entrepreneurs know that the more they can provide value for others, the more successful they become. So, folks, I'll leave it there. But again, or I'll leave it there with, free enterprise, open markets, getting the government out of the way. That's not only how the economy gets better, but that's how the environment gets better as well. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.